Good afternoon. Recently, someone spoke to me about feeling a longing to be closer to other people and feel closer to the world. I wonder if you share this desire in some way. I think it's quite common to feel separate in some way from other people and from the world. Now, I think that can occur in different ways. Like if you have some kind of social anxiety, I don't mean that as a, psychiatric diagnosis. I just mean it's like you feel a little nervous to approach someone, or, talk to them or introduce yourself. I mean just that. If you have any such feelings or have had them in the past, that's a form of separation. It's like, oh, there's this other person and here am I, and maybe there will be some rejection or judgment of me and what I say. Or likewise, if you have any sort of negative emotions about somebody else, then there's some separation too. It's like, oh, there's this other person and he or she is like this, and I don't like that, I disapprove. Right? And you've made separation happen. So I'm thinking of this as just being pervasive. Not as some special problem of a particular mind that has gone astray in some way. But also in our relationship to the world, it's like, it can feel like we are here and there's a world of objects out there, and they're, yes, you deal with them, but they're on the outside. And I think there's a benefit to feeling that they're on the outside, because then you don't have to care about everything. Certain things you can just kind of like put to the side and move on, because if everything is intimate and on the inside, then like maybe we could feel overwhelmed by how it all, how can I say, touches us intimately. Let's call this situation alienation. Like as a overarching term, is like the alien is the stranger, is that which is, other, and so you feel othered from the world, and you are othering others from the self. And when such alienation is in place, various degrees, as always, different for each of us, probably, likely, different. But there's a theme that I think we all are familiar with. When it's in place, then the other side of that alienation is longing. A longing for more closeness, a longing for more intimacy. The longing is an expression, or actually a kind of affirmation of the alienation. If there wasn't such an alienation, you wouldn't experience the longing. It would just be a non-issue. Now, when I when this person spoke to me about this, what can I say? I mean, what can you say? What is the cure? So I went to the place where the problem is cured, where the problem is not there, it doesn't exist. So I looked at the person and I said, "You are my life right now." Do you know what I mean? What appears at this time, I mean, it's this person, but right now it's like, let's bring it into this situation. You are my life. And that's it. So we can just go now. So there's not more to say. So I'm tempted to, because I like to think about stuff and talk, and so I'm tempted to say more, so I'll say more. So if I just said that's what came, and I'm okay with what I said. If I examine it, oh man, all kinds of problems appear. Right? My life, okay, life, these are all problematic terms. But it's not terrible, because I think you understood. So it's good enough. But life, let's just stay with that for a moment. Life typically is understood as a lifespan. It starts with birth, it ends with death, it has many years. Even if you die early, there are many years. There's all this time, and this lifespan is composed of many moments that are, that we live through in succession. So when I say, you are my life, my entire life, what are we? No, clearly it's like, it's this moment. So this feeling of like this, so let me not say you, let me just say this is my life. This is happening at each moment. This. This is my life. Not understood as a lifespan, but as what? What is this life here now? Like, what does that mean? It's what appears. It's the space of appearance. Or maybe we could say this, the space of experience, this experiential space that you are in at each moment. But now let's take each moment away and say that you are in now. And you're always in it now. There is no other time. You're always in this experiential space now. And when you think of the next moment, then that is now, and then, which is now, and now, like that. And so the now doesn't go anywhere. It stays. There's change in the now, but the now isn't going anywhere. And like I've said many times in recent weeks and months, is that we need to see the now as a here. We need to see the now as a space. If you see it as a moment in time, it doesn't make any sense. It's short. It's basically non-existent, because like you can always make the now shorter if you think of it as just a unit in time. But if you blow it up into space, and I mean experiential space, that which you are experiencing, it doesn't go anywhere. The spaciousness of that space doesn't go anywhere. The contents are coming and going. This is really important. I mean, if you want a cure for this problem of feeling separated from others and separated from space, separated from the world. If you want a solution to this, then you need to discover the now as a spacious here that always stays, and the contents are coming and going, and those contents are, at each time, your life. And when I listen to myself like saying stuff like this, what I'm about to say is like I already feel kind of defeated, It's like, and it's like, but it's luminous, right? What appears, it is. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's magnificent. Okay, so now your mind can go, I can see my mind wanting to do this, like finding all these examples of how terrible life is, right? You'll find them. You've got like Zazen, you've got this pain. I could report on all the problems I have in my body right now, but who wants to know this? So you can report on yours. It's like, there's lots, right? Then feelings you have that are difficult, relationships that are not as smooth and beautiful as you'd like them to be. There's like various issues there. You've got, memories about your upbringing and your parents. They weren't perfect. That's problematic. Then you have a conflict with someone that weighs on you. Then there's, we'll just go wider and wider. The society has problems. There's political issues. There's war in the world. People are starving while we live in, luxury. Okay, now you've alienated yourself. It's like, how did that happen? How did we just go into alienation? Now, I'm not criticizing. This isn't untrue. Like conventionally, yesterday I mentioned truth, right? Conventionally, this is true. These are problems. It would be also good to find solutions to some of these problems. But how did we just do that? How did we just... I gave you a guided alienation meditation. Because by activating your thinking mind, you established a thinker that is somehow located here between your ears, behind your eyes, in your head. You've created this entity, together with each thought. You created this thinker who lives in here and looks at the world out there as an object and has value judgments about it. And so now this entity separated itself from this other entity called the world, and you split up the world in various domains and created separate issues like your body and your family, your parents, these people, this society, this country which is war-torn, these people who have hunger. You compared yourself living in relative luxury. Now you have comparison going on, like right there. All the ingredients of separating self from other, mind from body, subject from object, experiencer from the experience. You've made all that happen in like no time. And okay, I have no justification for this. I don't know why things are the way they are, but despite all these problems that we can name, it is absolutely magnificent to be alive and to be immersed in this world. Notice your mind. You can construe that as a contradiction, or you can withhold that contradiction, like not construe that contradiction and experience it simultaneously. How the magnificent luminosity of life and all the issues that arise with it. Let's call that intimacy. There's alienation and there's intimacy. There's a basic feeling that I have that when I experience myself as a self, it's this container. I don't know a better word. It's a container. And there's an inside to the container and there's an outside to the container. There's stuff that happens inside and there's stuff that is happening outside. What's the stuff that happens inside? Sensations, feelings, thoughts. That's happening inside. There's also, I think, once you have this basic sense that there is a container with an inside and an outside, there is a sense of privacy that emerges. Like the inside is inside for a reason, because it's like there's stuff that only you experience and other people aren't experiencing. And some of the stuff that happens on the inside is you better, maintain as private. It's like we've learned, it's like it's better not to share that, or you hide it in some way, disguise it. Like you put a certain face on, but inside it feels different. This also is alienation, right? It's like this incongruence between what is experienced on the inside and what is allowed to be displayed to the outside. It works. It works okay, but not perfectly. Most people have a sense that it's a display, It's like you put on a happy face, but you're really quite unhappy. The unhappiness somehow, it comes through if somebody is perceptive. It's like, oh, what kind of happiness is this? There's something fishy about this smile. I'm not here to pretend that there's like a simple solution to this issue. I'm just trying to get on the same page. Yesterday, some of you online weren't there, but I spoke about Zazen as being the practice of showing up to the truth of your experience. There's another twisted mechanism, like when we learn, usually in the situation where we grow up, that it is not okay to display certain feelings and thoughts. Like, you better don't do that, otherwise love is withdrawn, or there's punishment, or you get isolated or something. So you learn to not display certain things, and then they become, as we in our Western psychology would say, they become unconscious. They get repressed in the sense that they actually, we don't quite know that we have those feelings and thoughts and so forth because we're not displaying them to the outside, so we're not even displaying them to ourselves. There too, I think, we can work through this, and like you can do therapy and in dialogue with someone who gives you permission to feel certain feelings and think certain thoughts. You recognize that they are actually an important part of your experiential realm, and so by someone else holding this space for you, in a safe space, it can be displayed now. It can be expressed. It can be recognized and registered as present. But I feel our sitting posture is a kind of radical openness toward allowing everything to be part of this experiential space. It's like, it's not much more than that. Like you set up your posture, and then you don't invite your discursive thoughts to tea, meaning you stop arguing with yourself. Like, you don't set up a self that has an opinion about that and is like thinking through this and doing that. And it's like, because that's just, as I try to clarify, that just increases alienation. Like you have more self-activity that makes stuff into other, like that situation, that person, this thing that I need to now think about and tell this story of. And so without criticizing this particular functioning of our mind, we just sort of ease out of it. That's it. You just don't invite these thoughts to tea. In other words, you don't give them more energy. What do you do instead? Well, we set this up basically in baby steps. It's like, okay, so just bring attention to breathing, to the immediacy of breathing. So you open up to that part of your experiential space, to the part that is breathing, and you just allow that breathing to be the way it is coming and going moment after moment in this here now space. This is what's happening, and you register it. Like I'm calling it registering in terms of like, this is what's happening. No additional thought or interpretation about it necessary, right? Breathing can stand on its own. And then you extend that invitation and this open-minded attitude to everything. You allow it to happen. And you register it for what it is. No interpretation, no judgment. It's happening. This is curative. It cures alienation. It allows everything to occur. I know from my own experience, the more I allow, again, the complications of language, the more I allow myself to occur with all these ingredients of feelings, emotions, thoughts, etc., right? The more I allow myself to occur, and don't flinch and squirm and try to avoid it and deny it and say like it's not really this way or something. The more I don't do that and I'm just sitting in the stillness of letting it happen, right? The more I can let other people happen. I don't think of that as particularly virtuous. Like, oh, I'm letting you happen just the way I'm unconditionally loving. This is too much. Right? Like that feeling may come in, you may start to feel a kind of loving feeling toward the world because you are finally letting it happen the way it is happening. Just the way when you let yourself happen, you may have loving feelings toward yourself. But that's not the starting point. That's not, I mean, in my experience, that's not how I started. I didn't start as like, God, geez, like, let me find a way to love myself. How am I going to do that? When do you feel loved by someone? I think the first thing is that if someone allows you to be the way you are, this is the most fundamental thing. And then into that comes a feeling of warmth. And when you feel both, the permission to be the way you are and the warmth, then, love can flower. All right, you may see it differently, but I'm just sharing how it is for me. So if we want to have a loving feeling toward ourselves and the world and this feeling of intimacy, I think it's like make space and bring warmth into the space. But first it's like let it happen. Let that which is happening happen. I want to even say like, if you want to love something too much, it's a little sticky, right? Like somebody will feel this, it's like, there's... If you just make space, like people can splash around in the space any way they want. But if you say, I love you specifically because you are this way, then it's already pressure, like, oh, I need to be this way to be loved, right? It's sticky. It's like there's some deal that needs to be made here. It's like if it's really open, then, you can splash around any way you want. That's freedom that true love gives, I think. So I want to encourage you to come back to the very the simplicity of opening your eyes, opening your ears, opening your heart for the feelings of this here now moment. It's like as it is. Notice the luminosity of appearance. See if you can enjoy it. Feel nourished by it. if you start thinking, it gets complicated. But just before thought arises, this is like before thought arises, there is this nourishment. If you are a confused Zen practitioner, like I am, have been for 30 years, then you have questions like, well, then, like, do I have to now, have a non-thinking mind all the time? And like, how does thought get together with this? Well, this is actually something for us to investigate. The question is, can this intimacy before thought arises, which I hope you can find to be luminous and nourishing, can this stay? Can it stay in the midst of using your mind in the mode of dualistic thinking? They are in competition. For most practitioners, it's like it is in competition. As soon as you start thinking this here and now intimacy kind of collapses, and you find yourself as a self, as opposed to a world, other, etc., in these dualisms. I find the vocabulary of Buddhism quite difficult. It's like, you think I'm very versed in it, but it's because I find it so difficult. I have to look at it again and again in a fresh way. What is a self? What is supposed, like, what is non-self? What is that pointing to? Like, this is so hard. It's kind of obvious, but it's also kind of hard to really understand. What is dualism and what is non-dualism? Like, when you read some kind of text, and however the author is doing it, they're always trying to undermine the dualism. But in my concrete lived life, like, how is this a problem? Like, how is it real? I mean, is this kind of philosophy or thinking or the teachings that are presented, do they really apply? You really need to wrestle with this. Otherwise, this stuff is kind of just abstract. Emptiness, form, delusion, enlightenment. Like, what the heck? What is that stuff? So, I'm saying this because if this here now luminous nourishing space, if it's there, you let's say it, and sometimes you have it for a while and then it collapses. One reason we want to sit a weekend sitting is that thinking can quiet and the space can appear, and you get a taste of it. And then some examination is necessary, like I'm doing right now, I'm trying to do. Hopefully you benefit in some way. It's like you want to start seeing that your thinking process is, let me use that word, it is delusional. It's always making a construction. Whatever you think turns the object of your thought into an object and makes it into something and separates it from another thing and gives it a name, and makes it into some seemingly solid object of your experience, and you identify with this mind that experiences as yourself, and you're looking at the object as an object that's separate from you, but also separate from other objects, because you made a distinction. All this is complicated to say, but it happens in an instant, and that produces alienation. So if you see through it as delusion, you can learn to take it not so seriously. It's like a provisional way of organizing the world, and we use it, but you don't take it so seriously. I've noticed this, like, I'm quite opinionated, and I have... Somebody's laughing. I mean, you're better judges of this than I am, but I take my opinions, in my own perception, I take my opinions much less seriously than I used to. I was quite serious about them, and now it's like I still have them, and I still think that certain things are better than others, but I'm sort of okay with the idea. I'm not sort of, quite okay with the idea that it's just my preference. It's pretty delusional. Other people are different. I mean, it took a long time, but and it's not finished, this project, but I'm getting used to it. I'm relaxing into the delusion. You have to, and it is complicated, because you have to imagine, like, what if you don't have any opinion? Does that work? It actually doesn't work, because those opinions give you life direction. You go this way and not that way because you like this better than this. It's like if you were like, what? Got no opinion about anything? Like, what are you have no direction. It's not particularly desirable. But the problem starts when you believe that your direction is the only one, and everyone has to go in that direction. That becomes alienating. You don't like what other people are doing, they don't like you, then you have to fight that, you have to complicate, it gets hard. So just the fact that I can sit here and admit to you that I'm opinionated is great progress, I think, because before I would have tried to hide the fact, like not owning up to the truth of my experience. It's like saying, just because I say I'm opinionated doesn't mean you're not. I mean, you're all opinionated. Some of you just hide it better than others. So seeing it, living with it, seeing this as a texture of your life, but also being able to be stepped back from it, from the texture, and that makes everything lighter and more playful. So, again, I'll make this point one more time and then I can end. I want to encourage you to breathe in, the nourishing intimacy of the world, which is your life at this time. To let it come through your eyes, your ears, through your body and your heart, in form of feelings and emotions. Do not fight any of those. They are an expression of your humanness. This Zazen posture is not our whole life. It's like clearly we're doing other things, right? We have a job, we have family, we have projects, we live in the world, through the world, as the world, and but this posture is something we can return to invite, re-invite this intimate, non-alienated space. And one of the things that I love the most about this posture is how dignified it is. It's hard to explain, and I don't think I need to. It's like, what is so dignified about it? It's the willingness to let everything happen. It's like, and also the capacity and the resilience and the it's almost like it's a shortcut to being an adult and not some sort of whiny child. So you can delight in the world, in its display, in its, sensorial appearance, in this here-now space, and you can also delight in your ability to meet it, be present with it, in that dignity,